Hey there guys, it's Jamie and welcome back to Eat Love Protein. If you're looking for a flavorful, delicious meal that's a total crowd pleaser and comes together in just a few minutes, all while still being healthy, then you're in the right place. Does that sound too good to be true? Then keep watching for today's recipe, Mexican tomato rice and salsa chicken, and let me blow your mind. My cooking philosophy is that you can lose weight, build muscle, and whatever your health goals are, all while loving your food. If you want to hang out with me and get more tasty recipes just like this, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any new recipes when I post a new video every Monday. So I lost over 30 pounds in a year back in 2019, and the recipe that you're about to learn today was really one of my staple foods. I love it because it tastes amazing and it's so easy to make. It doesn't require any cutting, any vegetables, and you really only need to spend about 10 total minutes cooking. Plus, it's so versatile. You can easily portion out several 400 to 500 calorie meals with about 30 grams of protein out of just this one dish. You can eat it as a plate, you can eat it as burritos, and sometimes I even make breakfast burritos out of the leftover rice by putting an egg and melting some pepper jack cheese onto that. I've brought this recipe to taco bar parties and it gets lots and lots of compliments. It tastes like it shouldn't be healthy, but it's actually a balanced meal with plenty of nutrition to offer. So, are you ready to get started? Then let's get to the kitchen. Yo, it's voiceover Jamie here. Alright, so before we get started, here's what you're gonna need for this dish. About 1 to 1.5 cups of basmati rice. It must be white rice, medium or long grain is fine. Brown rice will not work, so don't use brown rice. You're going to want to soak your rice here in this recipe for 15 minutes in cold water prior to cooking and then drain. So I've personally heard bad results with jasmine rice from a few of my reviewers, but I think that they possibly made a different mistake, which we will get to later in the recipe. You're also going to need one 14.5 ounce, which is a 411 gram size can of Rotel, or it's also called diced tomatoes with chilies, so search that at your grocery store. I really like using the Publix brand one. Then you're gonna need 1 to 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, half a jar or about 200 grams of salsa of your choice, 1 or more servings of frozen corn, which is 85 grams on the back of my corn, 2 or more servings of frozen spinach, which is 85 grams per serving on the back of my frozen spinach, 2+ tablespoons of cumin, salt to taste, pepper to taste, and garlic powder to taste. Those 3 things are for the chicken. Then you're going to need about 2 to 3 cups of cooking liquid. This could be water, this could be stock or broth of your choosing. You want to start with a 1-to-1 ratio of rice to liquid, and then you're going to add a little extra to account for the additional ingredients. Alright, now you're ready for step 1. That's everything you need. Getting everything together is probably the longest part of cooking this recipe, to be honest with you. So here's step 1. First, you're going to want to sear the chicken thighs on each side for 3 minutes. So you're going to press saute on your Instant Pot. You're going to want to let it warm up for a minute or so because you don't want to put oil, fat, or meat into a cold pan. Then open up your chicken. Because I'm trying to make this as low calorie as possible, I'm going to apply oil directly to the chicken thighs. You could also put some directly in the pan, but some people find the shape of the Instant Pot pan really annoying because the oil just goes all around the sides. It's not just a you thing, that's an everyone thing, so don't think you're crazy. They just made it a crazy shape. I think it's convex means it comes up, like concave would mean that it goes down. So it's convex, that's why all the oil goes around the outside. So that's 2 reasons why you should use my little tip of putting the oil right on the chicken thighs. Then you're going to want to season the tops of the chicken with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Place your chicken thighs, oil and season side down, and then you're going to want to sear in your Instant Pot for 3 minutes. While that's cooking on the first side for 3 minutes, apply oil to the side of the chicken that's facing up. The one that's facing you, you should basically be staring at it, and it's a naked chicken, right? So put some oil up on that bad boy and then hit it with some salt, pep, and garlic powder. Then you're ready to flip the chicken and sear the other side. Take the chicken thighs out of the pot and set them aside when they're done. Next step, put some of your cooking liquid into the pot and scrape everything off the bottom as best as you can. You don't want to get a burn error, and some models of Instant Pot are really sensitive to buildup like that, so it's better to be safe than sorry here. Once that layer is scraped up, now you're ready to put things in your pot. Remember, last week we talked about that a big part of cooking an Instant Pot is kind of like thinking about your recipe like building a campfire. Layering and putting things in the right order can truly be the difference between success and failure with your recipe. So for this recipe, please follow my layers exactly, okay? Don't stir anything until the end. First, you're gonna wanna put a little layer of liquid on the bottom of the pot to just prevent the rice from scorching on a hot inner pot. Something else that I've done is take the pot off of the heating element and put it onto a heat-safe surface like my metal sink grate or on the stovetop or on my stone countertops. But you can skip that step if you just put a little bit of liquid at the bottom of the pan. Then you're gonna wanna add your rice, half of your seasonings, the tin of Rotel on top of the rice, and then the other half of your seasonings, and then the vegetables on top of the Rotel. And again, please do not stir, because tomatoes are notorious for burning on the bottom of Instant Pots. So you'll notice that most recipes for tomato sauce or whatever will tell you not to stir. Also, the spinach can burn on the bottom too, so that's why we're putting it on top of the tomatoes so that there's a lot of layers of separation between the things that are the most likely to burn on the bottom and the actual bottom of the pan. So as I'm layering, I like to season with salt, pepper, and garlic powder on each ingredient or like each layer that I'm putting out. Finally, you're gonna wanna put your chicken thighs back in on top, and then you're going to divide your salsa evenly between each of the chicken thighs. So you want the chicken thighs to be like covered in the salsa. Next step is that before we seal the deal, just eyeball the amount of liquid real quick to double check if it's good to go or if you need more. As a wise man once said, check yourself before you wreck yourself. So you probably want the vegetable layer to be about half or completely covered, and you can look at the way that I'm doing mine here in the video. It's probably easier to think about my ingredients recommendations like sliders. So if you put less of something, then you can put in more of others. If you put the maximum amount of rice, chicken, vegetables, everything that I listed, then you're probably going to want to err on the side of caution and use more water rather than less. So also, please keep in mind that I'm making this in a 6-quart Instant Pot. You're going to have to do a little extra legwork if you have a different size pressure cooker. So the 6-quart Instant Pot needs a minimum of 1 cup of water to come to pressure, and you can use that as a judge if you wind up having to multiply or divide my recipe for different pressure cookers that need a different minimum amount of liquid than the one that I'm using. So when all that is said and done, you can just use manual pressure. You can set it to high if you have that option, or just press manual pressure, that's fine, and set it for 5 minutes. And you are done, fam. When you're ready to serve that, when it's done, you can remove the chicken and mix the bottom layers and then put the chicken back on top. Thank you so much again for watching this far. If you give my recipe a try, I really hope you love it. And if you do try any of my recipes, please leave me a comment, because I would love to know what you think, and I would also love to share your comment in a future video. Also, make sure that you check out last week's video if you want another tasty, lazy, one-pot chicken and rice dish. This one is a Greek lemon rice and lemon chicken thighs dish that's big on protein and big on flavor. I know that you're gonna love that one too, so make sure that you check it out. My overall food philosophy here on this channel is that you deserve to love what you eat. You can lose weight, you can build muscle, you can live whatever you consider a healthy lifestyle without cutting out key macronutrients, without cutting out carbohydrates, fat, or protein, and without cutting out foods that you love, or going on vacation, or having fun, or partying, or going out to restaurants, or whatever it is that you want to do. You just have to be smart about it. So if you want to come on this journey with me to lose weight and build muscle, all while loving your food, then I would really love if you would be part of my community. To do that, just make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any more of these healthy, tasty recipes. And if you want to get a weekly email with these recipes, then make sure that you hit up eatloveprotein.com. You can pop your email in there and get a text version of these recipes sent straight to you. And if you like these recipes that I'm putting out, you can also help me make even more of them by supporting the show at Patreon. You can find that at eatloveprotein.com/Patreon. Thank you so much again for joining me for today's recipe, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday.